Drake is currently facing a wave of criticism after a fan publicly shared her experience with him. From my point of view, the backlash appears to be warranted if her claims are accurate because the accusations involve behavior that could be considered among the lowest by any public figure. Drake is known for a particular gesture during his concerts, giving away money or gifts to fans. While it's unclear exactly when or why this tradition began, there are numerous viral clips of Drake noticing someone in the audience and then offering them substantial financial support. In one clip, he hands a fan $20,000. In another, he gifts someone furniture for their home. This pattern has turned into a recognizable trend. Fans now attend his shows holding up large signs describing personal struggles, likely in the hope that Drake will see them and respond with help. One of the latest viral moments featured a fan claiming they used all their wedding money to attend the show. Drake acknowledged their effort and told them he would cover the cost they incurred just to be there. These gestures have become part of Drake's public image. Recently, during a concert, Drake noticed a woman in the audience who was reportedly dealing with multiple medical issues, including scoliosis and multiple sclerosis. Mid-performance, he offered to help her.
First of all, maybe y'all can have a conversation. And second of all, okay, whatever it takes to get you the best life in the world, I want you.
That clip shows Drake promising a woman recently diagnosed with multiple sclerosis that he would provide her with any support she might need. So the question is, what happened between that public offer of help and her later appearance in Toronto, where she was seen dancing to Not Like Us at a Kendrick Lamar concert? She later shared her side of the story on TikTok, explaining in detail how she went from being one of Drake's biggest supporters to feeling completely let down by him. She says the entire situation changed her view of Drake, and now, listening to his music doesn't feel the same anymore.
To start, I was filming this video of me speaking, and my eyes just aren't cooperating with me today, so I thought it would be better to just get it out there this way. My name is Stephanie. If you're here, you are probably here because of the video I previously posted. My memory sucks, so bear with me. I'll try to keep the story as in line as possible. To start, October 2023, I went to a concert. My sign said, "I just found out I have MS. Will you help make my night?" The man literally could have thrown me a t-shirt, like his sweat thing. Like, he could have thrown me anything and I would have cried. Talked about it for my whole life. Would have been ecstatic. But instead, he made me some promises. And one of them you've seen in the video.
Drake has a well-known personal connection to MS because one of his closest friends, known as 40, is living with the condition. This is the same friend credited with contributing significantly to Drake's musical success. If I were in Drake's position, I'd be equally committed to doing everything I could to support someone who helped build my career. Drake even employs a private physician specifically for 40, someone who actively works on managing his MS and exploring ways to help him live as healthily as possible. We've already seen how seriously Drake takes any mention of 40E's illness, especially during the fallout from Pusha T's The Story of Adidon, where Pusha mentioned 40E's condition. Drake later appeared on LeBron James' podcast, saying that hearing Pusha bring up 40 made him want to quit rap altogether and handle the situation differently. It's clear that this is a deeply personal matter for him. So when this woman brought a sign referencing MS to Drake's show, was it a calculated move to get his attention? Perhaps. But once a promise is made, especially to a fan going through a serious medical condition, there's a responsibility to follow through. And according to her, Drake didn't honor that commitment.
He made a couple, and I'm not gonna lie, he did keep up with a few of them. I did get connected with 40. He's a great man. He's also Drake's best friend, so I've tried to reach out to him about this. I've vented to him about this, and all he's really, like, he can be there for me, but he is Drake's best friend, so he can only do so much that way. I did get to go to the concert the next night. He did keep his word on that one. But when it comes to getting me help, it has been nothing but heartbreak. It started with him, like, just asking for information. I spent the first, 6 months updating him on me getting diagnosed, and he then like reached out to me about treatments and stuff like that, and we talked. I told him what I was trying to do, what I was trying to get covered. He let me know, because I didn't have any other option. There was no other help available, so I was just kind of going with the Ontario flow. At one point in time, he did tell me, because I told him my medication isn't covered, but I'm working on getting it covered. I had no other option. He'd let me know, if it doesn't get covered, we'll pay it for 20 years. I was so grateful for that. I worked so hard to get it covered. I was keeping him in the loop. I updated him, was sending him medical documents. He had let me know at one point, we have the best doctors in the world for 40. Like the medication you're trying to get covered might not even be the medication you end up taking. We're going to take your medical documents and send them to 40's doctors. And they could have a whole different, better, crazier treatment plan for you, right? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It was just so...
Fortunately for this woman, she was wise enough to have a backup plan in place. Things could have turned out much worse if she had relied solely on Drake's promise or his teams without taking any steps to secure medical coverage independently. Had she done that, she might have ended up in severe pain today, especially since she believed that her medications and medical support would be covered as promised. According to her, after receiving what sounded like full assurance after being told everything she hoped to hear, it's unclear whether the communication was directly with Drake or with someone named Ravi, who appears to handle some matters on Drake's behalf. Still, once those promises were made, she says the communication suddenly stopped. She was blocked and her messages went unanswered. She did mention that she's now in touch with 40, Drake's longtime collaborator who also lives with Miss, and while 40 likely has access to similar resources as Drake, he's not the one who made the initial commitment to help her. 40 didn't promise to cover her medical bills or ensure she'd receive long-term care. That responsibility, as she frames it, belonged to Drake. And from her account, it seems that after making the offer, Drake simply cut off contact.
And good thing I didn't take anybody's word on covering things, because I did end up blocked. So we could have, paid for it once, and then I'm in the government's eyes, I'm expected to keep paying for this. When I went to reach out a few months later, he pretty much was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I explained everything that he had previously promised, and he was like, his response to that was, I'm sorry, Stephanie, I've had a lot of deaths in my family. I've been going through a lot. Just kind of, dodging everything. And I'm not saying that he wasn't going through things or didn't have his own stuff going on, but at the same time, this is your job, and I'm heartbroken. I kept him updated, telling him, this is making me sad. This is already a tough time for me to go through this. That's when he texted me and said, I'm sorry that you haven't been looked after. We're going to get you some better help. We're going to have a meeting about this tomorrow. And I texted back, just thank you. Waited a few weeks, texted something else, and then ended up being blocked. So, and how I know I was blocked, I just took another iPhone, and sent a quick little hey, and went through no problem, delivered. So that was a tough day for me, finding out it was over. Sorry, my memory, it slips, but at one point he did, it pretty much admitted to me, I don't even know, for the last 6 months you've been updating me, I don't even know who, what, where, when, how. I had to send him the video for him to review it again, so he could see why my hopes were high and my hopes were up. And not because I felt entitled or like I deserved it, but because I really didn't feel like my idol of almost 15 years would look in my eyes and lie to me. If you've listened to all of this, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
In my opinion, the most disappointing part of this situation is the lack of acknowledgement of the core issue. Instead of addressing it directly, it appears that Drake or his team chose to simply cut ties by blocking her without offering any real explanation for the change. Even a brief message like, "I'm dealing with personal matters and can't follow through right now, please seek assistance elsewhere," would have shown some accountability. That would have been more respectful, especially considering Drake has the resources and team members who could have easily handled this on his behalf. But instead, according to her, she was blocked. And again, this is assuming her story is entirely accurate, which, based on the available evidence, there's little reason to doubt. We saw Drake make the promise publicly, and now nearly 2 years later, she claims she hasn't received anything that was offered. Not a single thing. Now, one thing most people know about Drake is that he can be emotional, something many of us can relate to. So is it possible that he checked her social media, came across her supporting Kendrick, maybe reposting or dancing to Not Like Us, and decided to walk away from the situation? That's possible. But if that's the reason, it still should have been communicated. She deserves clarity, not silence, especially after being made such a public promise.